Most visitors to Lake of the Ozarks have ventured down to Bagnell Dam for a look at this marvel of American engineering. But what about the history of Bagnell Dam? It's housed here at Willmore Lodge.
Well, welcome to beautiful Willmore Lodge. My name is Karen. I've had the pleasure of working here at Willmore Lodge for the last 10 years. I've become a little bit of a historian, so I'm going to take you on that little trail as we travel through the development of the Osage River Project, Bagnell Dam, and also a little bit of the history of Willmore Lodge. This is an Adirondack-style lodge built in 1931. It was built primarily for the executives of the dam construction project. Willmore Lodge was constructed actually in the state of Oregon. It was framed in Oregon. It was then taken apart, numbered, brought here by train, and then reassembled on this site. Now the site had been prepared for it. The foundation had been laid, the fireplace was in place, as well as the verticals. So only the logs were shipped here and then framed. But even with that, it still took 3 months for the building to be completed. And it cost over $134,000. Of course, since the building was constructed by the power company, you would have expected it to have power. It also had indoor plumbing, and each one of the 5 bedrooms, which are now the museum rooms, had its own private bath with, of course, hot and cold running water and facilities for the guests. This is a large building. It's 6,500 square feet, but it only had those 5 bedrooms. The rest of the building was used for entertainment and recreational activities, and that's where we are right now. We are in the great room of the lodge. It is a huge room with a magnificent view of the lake. It is a 7.5-mile view straight down the heart of the Lake of the Ozarks, and absolutely the best view of the lake. When visitors come in the front door of the building, they see this huge picture window, and many of them will say, wow. Now that you've heard a little bit of the history of Willmore Lodge, follow me as we go into the museum, and we'll talk a little bit more about the area before the dam construction project, and some of the important things that you'll see while you're here at the lake. This room is the Lynn Creek room. Each one of the guest rooms in the lodge was named after one of the towns that had to be moved or was eliminated once the dam was finished and the lake started to fill. This room is the dam construction room. So the exhibits in this room chronicle that construction project. Directly behind me is a map on the wall which shows the path of the Osage River through the Ozark Mountains. The dark line is the path of the river. The lighter area extending from that dark line is the reservoir that became Lake of the Ozarks. If you take a look at that large extensive map on the wall, you'll see that it resembles a snake or a dragon. Many of the businesses in the area have adopted that as their trademark, and that is the land of the magic dragon. Welcome to the Dam Operation Room. This room is dedicated to the history of the construction of the dam that relates to operations. We have 2 wooden models in this room that were used by the engineers during the construction project. One of those models is the housing of the turbines and the electromagnet, and the other is the wooden model showing you the spillway, and that model is behind me. Now, the spillway is one of the things that visitors to the lake are perhaps most interested in because they're hoping that they can see water going through the spillway. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen very often. The only time you see water going through the spillway section of the dam is if there is a need to control the level of the lake. So anytime you see water going through the spillway, it is not generating electricity. It is used strictly to control the level of the lake. New to the museum here at Willmore Lodge is the exhibit that was added just before Christmas. And as you can see, it's a large touch screen that contains hundreds of photographs which chronicles the dam construction project as well as Willmore Lodge. One of the more interesting things that visitors to the lodge want to know about the facilities that were actually here for the workers. Keeping in mind there were over 20,000 workers that came into this dam construction project from all over the country to find work. The dam was started just a couple of months before the Depression, so many men were looking for work and they came to the Ozarks, hopefully to find it at the dam. Now that you've had just a little glimpse of what Willmore Lodge has to offer you in terms of the museum and the history of the area, I'd like to point out to you what the dam construction project actually created. The incredible lake that you see behind me is one of the premier vacation destinations in all of Missouri. And as I said, over 20,000 people a year come and visit us through the museum, and that's just a small part of the number of people that come here to enjoy the recreational activities that are associated with the lake. What I've shown you today is just a small sample of what you can see here at Willmore Lodge, and we invite you to come here any day of the week throughout the summer months to enjoy what you see behind me and what's in the museum.